Alright guys, today we're going to be replacing a charging port. If you're this far, the first thing you want to do is take off the screen, but if you're replacing the charging port, I'm pretty sure you know how to take off the screen. But if you do not, at the end of the video I'll kind of explain what you need to do. But the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to remove these screws that are around the speaker. This is the speaker at the bottom of the phone. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding this speaker down. That fifth screw right there, I just took it out, but you didn't really have to remove this speaker. And you do have to take that little wire off that I just touched as well. That's the speaker. You take it out, and just to get it out of the way. Now there's going to be 4 screws here at the bottom. The top 2 screws are held down by this little metal plate. Take it off, but just remember which way that you took it out. So make sure you're laying it down right. All these screws that I'm laying out, it's very important that you lay them out exactly how they went in. They're all different sizes and shapes. You don't want to put a long screw in a short hole. It could cause long screw damage, and basically what that means is on the back of the phone it's not a big deal, but on the front of the phone it can go all the way through to the screen, and you'll have a little screw hole in the front of your phone, and it's not a good deal. But I'm just continuing. Right now, if I see any kind of screw, I'm taking it out. And now all the screws are out, so now I'm going to start prying up on the cable. Now this is a good charging port, so I don't want to damage it anyway. I kind of got underneath it with some tweezers, and now I'm using a pry tool. You can use a plastic pry tool if you want to. This one anti-static, so it works pretty well. But right here, I realized that I need to remove the little vibrator, and it's kind of hard to see right here if you're not sure where it is, but I pulled this side up as well and realized that this cable is still stuck. So I'm going to have to remove this little vibrator, and I'll show you here in just a second. There it is. I'm going to take out these 2 screws. So if you will, once you've done taking out the other screws, take out these 2 before you start prying on this charging port. And see underneath there, there's a little bit of cable that was underneath that vibrator, and if I don't take that off, it's not going to go anywhere. So we pry a little bit more. Just make sure you don't cut into this cable or anything. Now if this is a bad charging port and you got a brand new one, you can be a little bit more aggressive because it's bad anyways, but this one was good. And I took it out, and I'm going to put it in this phone, which is the exact same phone. It's an iPhone 6, but the charging port was bad. So I'm just taking a charging port out of another phone and putting it in this one because the motherboard was bad on that other phone. So all you're going to do is try to line it up. Now there is little holes that are kind of cut out that when you start laying this in there, you're going to see that it lays just in there just perfect. And then down here at the bottom, I'm pushing that charging port up. I'm pushing it down right now. I'm trying to push it down through the frame, and it'll kind of fit down there. And you see right there that cable goes right around that hole. And but you want to make sure these are lined up just right, because when you put the speaker back down, those little gold plates right there, they touch the speaker, and it causes it to make noise, and you know, everything must connect just right. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and put this little vibrator down. Just takes these 2 screws, and once that's in place, just start lining up your screws. Like I said, I have all mine lined out on this little piece of paper, exactly the way that I took them out, and just kind of have them lined up. I need to video record how I line up my screws, but just line them up exactly how. And they even have like these little magnets out there that have a little display of the whole thing. That right there is a little piece of rubber, and when you unscrew that, you want to make sure you put that in the exact same way. That's the only other thing besides that little metal clip that I'm about to put down that you really have to watch out for and make sure that you put them in. But it's all really, you just take the screws out and you put them right back in. The main thing you don't want to do is damage that big cable in any way. A small tear will mess the whole thing up. So just make sure when you're pulling it out or putting it in that you're very careful. Even when you're fitting it over those holes, just make sure it lines up just right. If it's not lined up just right, it can put a little bit too much pressure, and you can end up putting too much pressure on one of those little holes and it can tear it just a little bit. And these cables are very sensitive, and if you tear them, they will not work. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking the screws and putting them in and screwing them down pretty good to make sure that they're staying in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and lay my speaker, and like I said, those little gold pieces, they line up just right, so make sure that when you put that speaker in there that everything is lined up correctly, because if they don't touch just right, then your speaker where you listen to your videos and you get your ringtones and all that, it might not work just right, and you're going to have to open it up and readjust it. On some of them, and this one, like I said, this is a used one. I took it out of one phone and put it in another. When it goes down, sometimes it doesn't stick very well, so you might have to add a little bit of adhesive tape. If you ordered a new one, then more than likely there'll be a little bit of sticky on there that when you put it down, it'll help line it up. That's the little cable I did not show you how to unhook, but all you're going to want to do is push it back down in its little spot, and you should hear a little snap. When you're lifting this up, try to use some tweezers and grab it really close to the head. If you try to grab it by the cable, you have a chance of ripping the cable out, and the little head just stays on there, so grab it by the head if you can. Once all that's in place and you've snapped down that charging port cable, we're going to start putting the screen back on. Like I said, if you're replacing the charging port, I'm pretty sure you know how to take apart the screen and put it back, but if you don't, you're basically going to do this in reverse. But there's going to be two metal plates that I'm fixing to put on. This top one has 5 screws in it, and the bottom one has 2 screws, and the one at the bottom, like I said, you're going to want to do this in reverse order. The one in the bottom is the one you're going to want to do first, because it's the one that holds down the battery. And when we plug this in, you want to make sure you get that little battery is charging symbol. If you don't get that battery is charging symbol, then maybe the charging port's not connected just right, or maybe it's a possibility that you have a tear. Now if you have a new charging port, then everything should be fine, but double check your connections, make sure everything is connected right, and try it again. But this, when on the other charging port, like you would plug anything into it and it would just be a black screen, you would never get anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm about to snap this down, and we're going to plug it into the charger, and you can see I'm getting the battery, so it is charging. So thanks you guys for watching. If you have any questions or something you did different that maybe helped you out, please let me know. This is the way I've done it. It works pretty well, and like I said, this is the last part here, just putting in the 2 Penelope screws. All you're really going to need is a small screwdriver, a Penelope screwdriver, some tweezers, and a little pry tool. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.